Hey guys, what's going on? This is my update video for what's going on at Silicon Valley Bank, here known as SVB. And there has been a lot that has happened since the bank was shut down on Friday by regulators. Secretary Treasury has come out making statements, as well as the chair of the FDIC, and we are learning what companies have been impacted by the closure. On top of that, other banks have been closed. Signature Bank in New York has been shut down by regulators, but I will be covering that topic in a different video. On Sunday, March 12th, Secretary Treasury Janet Yellen spoke to news outlets saying this.
During the financial crisis, there were investors and owners of systemic large banks that were bailed out. We're not going to do that again.
So that statement was made by Yellen on early Sunday, and later in that day, we got a joint statement from Yellen, the federal chief Jerome Powell, and FDIC chair Martin Goonberg. And this is what they had to say. So the main takeaways are depositors will have access to their money from Silicon Bank starting Monday, March 13th, 2023. No losses will be borne by taxpayers. Any losses to the deposit insurance fund to make uninsured depositors whole will be recouped by a special assessment on banks. Shareholders of these banks will not be protected. Senior management has been removed, and the Fed will make available additional funding to eligible depository institutions to help assure they can meet depositor needs. So the next couple days are going to be very interesting in seeing what happens, how much money is left in SVB, and if they will find a buyer. I believe I saw on the news this morning, and don't quote me, that a UK bank has decided to buy the UK branch of the bank to avoid turmoil in Britain. The SVB situation has cast a lot of doubt on whether or not the Fed will raise interest rates by 25 basis points or 50 basis points at its policy meeting this coming week. So far, we know of four major companies that have been directly impacted by Silicon Valley Bank's closures, and those are Roku, Etsy, Rocket Labs, and Roblox. Now, I know you might have been seeing Roblox in the news as the new Call of Duty killer if you play any video games, but this time they are actually in the news because they just lost about 5% of their business. In a statement released over the weekend, Roblox has about $3 billion worth of cash and assets in SVB, totaling about 5% of the company's total assets. So they will not be impacted as heavily as say, Roku, the streaming player, had about $487 million, or 26% of its $1.9 billion worth of cash and assets in Silicon Valley Bank. In a statement, they said, at this time, the company does not know the extent of which the company will be able to recover its cash or deposits from SVB. The e-commerce Etsy released a statement to Yahoo Finance saying that they use SVB to facilitate distribution of payment to its sellers, and they are unsure of how long it will take to get money to their sellers, but it is their highest priority. Space startup Rocket Labs disclosed that about $38 million worth of assets and deposits were held in SVB, which total about 7.9% of their startup. But luckily, 92% of Rocket Labs' cash and cash equivalents are held by other financial institutes. So to end this video, I just kind of want to talk about where we are now and what we can expect over the next few days. The SVB situation has America as a whole worried about what's going to happen with our banking institutions. I mean, I remember the 2008 financial crash. I was young, but I still remember it, and I don't think anyone wants to go through that again right now. We're finally just bumping back from COVID, and businesses are starting to flourish. The last thing we need right now is an economic recession, or even worse, a depression.